Coming up, the Olympic torch twice extinguished. Pro-Tibet protesters handcuffed themselves to the Eiffel Tower. The flames' passage through Paris finally curtailed amid protests against the Beijing Games. They call Paris the City of Lights, but twice today the Olympic flames been put out due to pro-Tibet protests. Scuffles, arrests, boos, delays, disrupting the torch relay through the French capital in what was supposed to be a celebration of Beijing hosting the Summer Games in August. The last portion of the route pure and simply cancelled, with the flame rushed by bus to the finish line at the French Olympic Committee headquarters in southern Paris, where we joined France 24's Lana Kamoye. Lana, there too protesters have rolled out the welcome mat.
Yes, exactly. A huge crowd has gathered here at the Charletti Stadium, the final point of the torch relay in Paris today. With one difference from the other points is that there were a lot of civilians here at the Charletti Stadium, not just Tibetan or Chinese expats or human rights activists, but a lot of French citizens who had gathered to defend one cause or the other, most of them to protest the Beijing Games with cries of Free Tibet and Tibetan flags. So the procession was booed, and as a result, the arrival of the flames here at the Charletti Stadium happened quite discreetly. There was no grand procession. The flame arrived in a bus, and there were only some small fireworks to signal that it had arrived to its final destination after a very hectic day. Right now, there's a celebration going on inside the Charletti Stadium, a show underway with Chinese dragons and the like. It will be followed by some short speeches, but overall, it's a very discreet celebration. There were some incidents here as well. One man tried to chain himself to the tramway right near the Charletti Stadium. Other protesters attempted to spread out a banner against the Beijing Games, but they were stopped by the police.
Now, there were protests Sunday in London, Lana. Is it safe to say you were at the start line at the Eiffel Tower this morning, that Paris has gone one better?
Well, yes, I think that's safe to say. There were clashes all day, but they gradually, they were gradually rising in intensity until they really disrupted the relay in Paris and the itinerary of the Olympic torch. It all started out at the Eiffel Tower at noon with some little skirmishes before the flame even left the Eiffel Tower, and then there were some more clashes and more intense clashes at the Paris City Hall. The procession arrived at the City Hall and had to turn back because there were so many protesters and clashes. The ceremony inside the City Hall had to be cancelled, and after that the whole trajectory of the flame was simply modified. The other stops were cancelled, and the flame simply rode the bus until the Charletti Stadium. We saw people being hauled off and arrested by the police, fights breaking out, so certainly it will be a day that will be remembered.
All right, France 24's Lana Kamoye, thanks for that. Paris, famous for its periodic outbursts of social unrest, true to its reputation today. However, it's important to stress that not everyone was protesting.
To the left, the Tibetan flag. To the right, the Chinese flag. Only a few hundred meters between the two. Pro-Tibet activists asked the French President Nicolas Sarkozy to boycott the opening ceremony.
We're facing the last genocide of the 20th century. We should never forget that. It's obvious that everybody should boycott the Olympics. They shouldn't even hesitate.
On the pro-Chinese side, smiles and enthusiasm. Here, no one wants to make a political event out of the Games.
We are here to support the Olympic flame of Beijing. It's a big celebration.
In France, they say the Olympics should be boycotted because of what's going on in Tibet.
I've not heard that.
Despite the good mood, confrontation is never far, even in front of the French.
No, don't rip it. Why would you rip it? I don't rip your flag. I respect you, so you should respect me.
4 months away from the opening ceremony, the fiasco is far from over.
And after London and Paris, the flame next to Wednesday in San Francisco, home to a sizable Asian community. Organizers there have already curtailed the planned route, anticipating protests.